Hey there guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we are going to be talking about parts 3 and 4 of the Return to Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, just continuing off of the strangeness from the last two episodes.
Yep.
This one just delves even more into weirdness.
Yes.
And it's wonderful.
I love it.
It's so great.
I just want more and more of everything that they're doing here. It's so bizarre.
Yes. Yes. And with these two episodes, we got even more bizarreness that kind of moved away from Twin Peaks. And then when you get to part 4, we kind of returned more to classic Twin Peaks.
Yes. Part 4 is, I think, the episode where a lot of the people who so far have been kind of iffy on the show are, I think, most of them will kind of get pulled back in a little bit by the 4th episode. There's a lot more of that quaintness and quirkiness that the old show had, and actual stuff in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, episode 4 is probably what a lot of people thought the first one would be.
Yeah.
Because it's very Twin Peaksy. It's not as crazy or as weird. But before we get to that, we have to start with episode 3.
Yes.
Which begins...
It begins in what I can only... Are we spoilers, basically? Right
we're right off the bat. We're not...
In what I assume is the Black Lodge.
Yeah.
Like, out of the waiting room. I mean, Cooper fell into space.
Basically.
And he's in a purple box house...
So it starts out with...
by ocean and space?
Yeah, because it starts out with him falling like he was in the last episode. Basically, kind of in space. And then he lands in this purple place.
Yes.
And walks inside to find a lady with missing her eyes.
They're like fleshed over.
Yes.
And
she's just saying gibberish.
And so like there's a thing on the wall that at first I thought was a safe, but then it sort of looked like an outlet. And Cooper is kind of drawn to it.
Yes.
And stuff happens, there's knocking on a thing. And
but then they go outside of that box and are basically standing in space.
In space on a box.
And the no eyes lady jumps off.
Well, she flips the switch and then it knocks her off.
Yeah, she flips the switch that knocks her off.
And then Coop goes back in and
before that, Coop looks over the edge and sees Major Briggs' face.
He sees Blue Rose.
Yes.
And then he goes back in, talks to another lady who's like, my mom's coming, and then he goes into the outlet.
Yeah, that's the opening of this episode. Now, I like the inclusion of Major Briggs.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff with Major Briggs apparently in this season. I love that. Again, I love that. I think I mentioned this in the last video. I love that they weren't just like, oh, the actor died, so let's just move on from him. Let's still include him in the show and make him a big deal, which I love. So I love seeing his face randomly in space, say Blue Rose, and you get a little more explanation about him later on. But that was great. And then outside of the whole Black Lodge stuff, you do see the doppelganger who's driving along the road and just starts convulsing and everything because of what's going on with Cooper inside the Black Lodge place thing. Then his car ends up just going off the road and crashing. And
he vomits just yellow nonsense.
Yeah.
That apparently can send people to the hospital.
Yeah, apparently it's poisonous.
So that's something.
And then we cut to what's the other end of the outlets, which is something that is so bizarre. There's another Cooper.
Named
Dougie.
Dougie Jones.
Yes.
Who's kind of a fatter, more, kind of sleazy dude.
Yeah, you basically see him with like a hooker in the house, and just like, Kyle MacLachlan must be really enjoying this scene. He used to be with a lot of either nude or scantily clad women.
Yeah, he's
just having a ball. But like, you see Dougie, and we're just like, what is this? Like, what? We already seen the doppelganger. Who the hell is this? Why is there another Cooper out here somewhere? And then as the hooker goes to take a shower, Dougie is getting dressed, and all of a sudden he starts falling over and just starts vomiting weird shit, and then Cooper comes through the outlets, and Dougie disappears. He goes into the Black Lodge.
Yeah, and then another thing worth mentioning that I don't know why he had it, but Dougie Jones had the ring from Firewalk with Me.
He has the ring from Firewalk with Me.
So that's a thing.
So then we get into the Black Lodge, and you see the one-armed man.
So the one-armed man tells him that he was manufactured for a purpose, and then he shrinks into a little thing.
He shrinks into a marble.
Yeah. Well, into like a little thing, and then a marble fights with the thing, and then it just turns into a marble.
Basically. And then also...
Hope you're following along.
And the only thing that survives from Dougie is the ring from Fire Walk With Me, which the Wonder Man takes and puts on the table like it was in the movie Fire Walk With Me. Mm-hmm. So there's something going on with that. And then we cut to Cooper, who he's like, oh, he's back. He's back in the real world, right? Not really. No.
He's not catatonic.
No.
He can talk, but like he's not himself. He doesn't know anything, and he's very dim-witted.
Basically.
And
yeah, he has no idea what's really going on. He's like everything. He's just learning everything as people speak to him.
Yeah, everything. It's sort of monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
With this new Cooper.
And of course, the hooker doesn't really think anything of it. She's like, "Oh, you must have had a stroke, and you're acting a little strange." That's it.
That's it. He's just acting a little funny, which seems to be how everyone reacts. Even when he gets back to his wife.
Yeah. But then the hooker drops him off at a casino. Mm-hmm. And she gives him $5 to go call home and everything. Call for a cab or whatever to take him home. And then he walks into the casino and he exchanges the $5 for coins. And he sees
a little hat thing or something, a little floating marker.
With like the design from the floor of the Black Lodge, kind of, hovering over a slot machine. And so he sees how it works. He watches a guy do that and win stuff. So he walks over, pulls a lever, and just wins a jackpot.
And he does this 30 times.
Yes.
And the people that work at the casino are very concerned.
Yes, they just keep like following him around, trying to find him with like their buckets to put all the coins in.
Yeah, and he's helping like a homeless lady win as well. It's just a ridiculous scene.
Bizarre. It's just crazy.
But it essentially wins him this bag of money. Just a comical bag of cash.
Yeah, the casino just gives him a bag of money. Just go.
There you go.
There's
they might
your
as well
winnings.
put a dollar sign on it.
Basically.
Which he takes home. And that's another thing, is apparently there are people that want Dougie dead.
Yeah.
And I guess they're supposed to be paying him off, because the wife is like, we can pay them off now. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
In the beginning, when he leaves the house with the hooker, you got people like on cars just like watching them with like snipers and stuff.
And they put a bomb on a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that.
I don't know. So then Dougie gets home and is greeted by his wife, played by Naomi Watts.
Yes.
And she, again, like the hooker, isn't really like all too surprised at how he's acting.
Yeah.
She isn't too like, oh my god, there's something wrong. She just like, snap out of it.
Yeah.
Which is
weird.
But she sees all the money that he brings home and is immediately happy. Mm-hmm. So that's good.
Money fixes everything.
Oh yeah. And then we cut to FBI headquarters.
Where we see our favorites.
Yes.
Gordon Cole and
Agent Rosenfield. Yeah. And they're in this big meeting talking about the deaths that happened in the first episode of those two people who are in the apartment building with the glass box about the window, and they got murdered by that weird creature thing. And you see the remains of their dead bodies, which is just so screwed up. Like their heads are missing. There's like blood's everywhere.
It's great.
Yeah, and they're investigating that. They have like a bunch of items on the table that have to do with that are possibly connected to the crimes. Which is, of course, a bunch of random stuff, like pictures of people in swimsuits, a gun, a picture of a kid, and a jar of beans. Because, of course.
I feel like half the time David Lynch is like, just put a jar of beans there. Let's get the people thinking.
Exactly. So they have this meeting, which is a great introduction to the two characters.
Yeah.
I love them. And then they get a call that Cooper has been picked up in South Dakota. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh crap, Cooper's been missing for 25 years, so we have to go investigate. So they leave to go investigate. They take this one girl agent with them, which I feel like she might come into play in something, because they keep like talking about her. Probably. Which is like really weird. But of course, before like setting off to to South Dakota, Gordon Cole has to make a little stop. Mm-hmm.
I was so happy. Yes. I was so happy because he has to go and stop and talk to Agent Denise.
Yes. David Duchovny back.
I love this character.
When he when she
walks
watching the door, we both are just like, yeah.
Yeah. Because one of my favorite characters from the show.
Yeah. No, so I just love David Duchovny.
Yeah.
She's like kind of like the head or something. I think about like FBI, like the chief of something.
Achieve something at the FBI.
Yeah, which is just awesome.
It's
Why
great.
not?
I love it.
So Cole stops off to talk to him about the fact that they're going to meet Dale Cooper, and that's basically, there wasn't a whole lot of real relevance to the scene. There was Denise being all like, why are you having this other girl agent go with you and you could have just had me and stuff like that, which is fine. It's just a great cameo, basically. Just love it. And so they head to South Dakota.
Yes.
And before we get to that part at the end is just freaking crazy, we come back to Twin Peaks. And you have that same thing that's been going on with the last episode where Hawk is trying to look through all these files to find out about the missing Cooper. And so you had the first scene with them in the conference room, just Hawk, Lucy, and Andy, which is such a ridiculous scene. There's something missing here. Yes. What could it be? And apparently there's some sort of evidence that's chocolate bunnies.
There's a whole lot of something about chocolate bunnies that probably doesn't have anything to do with anything, but maybe it does. Who knows?
And I'll be perfectly honest, I did feel that Lucy seemed a little bit stupider in the scene than she does.
She has seemed a little dumber than she was in the series.
Yeah, she wasn't really that dumb. She's just a little ditzy in the show. But this, she's kind of Andy levels of dumb, and I'm just it feels a little out of character. That's the one thing that seems off.
A little tiny bit, but I still enjoyed.
Yeah, well, the thing that makes that whole scene work is just Hawk's reaction.
Yes.
Hawk's just no. It has nothing to do with the bunnies.
It's not the bunnies.
They're just you're Indian, right? Yes. I am Indian.
It's just yes.
Yes, I am. Hawk makes that scene.
Yeah.
Kind of how, all, the dumb Nadine stuff in Season 2 that just doesn't work except for Ed's reactions. It's kind of like that, where it's the bunny stuff is kind of iffy, so-so, but Hawk's reactions just make it great.
Yeah.
And just, Andy's just do you want me to get you some bunnies now, honey? And stuff like that.
I can get you some.
Yes. But there's still that mystery going on. I'm just what is in those files that's missing, and what does it have to do with anything? We don't know. But that stuff's great. Again, there's a lot of Twin Peaks stuff in this episode. This is kind of big Twin Peaks kind of reunion stuff.
Yeah. And we're finally introduced to the new Truman.
But of course, in the weirdest of ways.
Yes.
Basically, Lucy's on the phone with him because he's out on his fishing trip. And then the signal's kind of cutting out a little bit. She can't really hear him too well. And all of a sudden, he walks into the door, on his cell phone, talking to her. And she's just
she's absolutely terrified, knocked out of her seat.
Yeah, she falls totally back out of her seat. And then Andy pops up, I guess she's just standing back there the whole time. Pops up, goes what's wrong? And you see Truman's just with the phone, just yep, I'm here. And walks away. And I guess Lucy is still kind of freaked out by cell phones.
She's doesn't understand them, and
she doesn't get
scares her.
I mean, it's kind of weird that Andy understands them and she doesn't. It's they're cell phones. You can be anywhere with them.
He can be moving.
Yes, you can be moving and be on the phone. And she's just all startled, shocked by it.
She had an absolute look of terror on her face as he was trying to explain it. It was wonderful.
Yes. Again, I think a little. I mean, it was funny just because it was so bizarre. But again, a little too dumb for Lucy standards.
A little bit. Maybe if it were a different character, it would have worked a little better. But I still liked it.
Just because it's just such a bizarre concept. They're okay, I'll buy it. I'll go with it. And then you see the new Sheriff Truman, who's played by Robert Forster, and I like him. I think he's a good choice. I don't think he has the same warmness as the other Sheriff Truman.
Not quite, but he does have also the sternness.
Yes, and he has the great reactions. Yes. I'm just yeah, that's wonderful.
Especially with Michael Cera.
Yes. Because all of a sudden Michael Cera's character shows up.
Who plays Wally Brando.
Andy and Lucy's son.
Yes. Who pays his respects to the new Truman, Truman's brother.
Yes.
Because Harry Truman is...
sick, actually.
Sick.
I don't know why. I don't know if that's going to tie into anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably will, since it's David Lynch. He'll probably come into play in something.
Yes.
And so they go outside to talk to him, and Truman walks out, and Michael Cera just goes off on this monologue about who knows what he's talking about. Just crazy stuff. And the fact that Truman's just yeah, that's great.
And then he just walks away.
Yes, but the way he reacts is just like Harry would react in the original show. You could tell they're brothers.
Yes,
which is perfect.
They're meant to be very similar characters, and it works.
The way he reacts to that stuff is just perfect. Just a little, kind of a genuine I respect your opinion, but I'm just I don't get what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah,
and it's great. And then we get to one big revelation when you see Truman walk around the halls and there's like a deputy walks by.
Yep.
He just calls out, "Hey, Bobby." And he turns and it's Bobby Briggs.
Deputy Bobby Briggs. I was so happy. I love Bobby.
Yes.
And to see that he's a cop, I don't know, I think it fits.
I wonder what happened though, like in between for him to become a cop. I'm trying to think.
He had a big turnaround in his life.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember where he left off at the end of season 2. Like, I know that there's 25 years in between, so like what happens at the end of season 2 won't directly respawn what happened in this one. But I can't remember exactly where his character left off in season 2, if he was like changing or anything, because like I don't know if he's still with Shelley or anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Then again, we don't even know what happened to Leo. Like,
yeah,
we don't know what's going on with him.
That's true.
But seeing him as a deputy was just really cool. And you guys, he's kind of like a good guy now, basically, which is nice. And then there's this big scene in the conference room where they're talking, where basically Hawk introduces Truman to all this weird stuff of this, like, the facts are in here or something missing, has to do with my heritage, and he introduces Truman to all that stuff, and it's kind of like a meeting, and everybody walks in, and Bobby walks in, and you start to hear the classic theme start to swell up, because he turns and sees all the case files and sees the iconic picture of Laura Palmer.
Yes.
And he starts crying and just starts saying, "Oh my God, it's been so long."
Brings back memories.
Yes.
And it's the first moment where we actually hear that Angelo Badalamenti theme.
Yes.
And it was really, really...
It was nice.
It was nice to hear.
It was nice. I mean, it fits, again, in the way it doesn't really play into nostalgia.
Not really.
Because every episode of the original show had that music play in it. So it's just following the show. Like, it doesn't really feel too much like fan service in a weird way. It is a little bit, but like...
It is. I mean, that's part of why it's there, but
it fits, because, again, that theme swells up in, like, every episode of Twin Peaks. Yeah. So it fits, but I like that scene. So that's kind of like our reintroduction to the characters of Twin Peaks. We still haven't seen everybody else yet. So I haven't seen, like, Audrey or Ed or really seen anything of Shelley. We saw her for a brief second in the last episode. So or Nadine. So we haven't really seen any of that yet, but we got a better picture of what's going on in Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Which is really nice. But then we get to the ending of the episode, which is just like so interesting and bizarre to the point where we weren't even talking the entire time. Yeah. Our eyes were just glued to the screen. Because Doppelganger Cooper, who is the one that they found in South Dakota, he's being held in this prison. So Cole and Rosenfield go to talk to him. Mm-hmm. And they go and talk to him, and it's just this freaking bizarre ass scene.
It's a really strange conversation.
Because the doppelganger is acting kind of like regular Cooper.
Yeah, he's like giving him a thumbs up.
That's his introduction. He, like, first time he sees him, he just goes like,
Yeah.
And he's like, "I've been undercover all this time," and then there's some connection to Philip Jeffries.
Yeah. But
you can just see, like, especially with Rosenfield, like, he's just like, he's not buying into this.
Yeah.
And it's a great scene.
Yeah.
And you see this, like Cole trying to talk to Cooper and trying to get the picture of what's going on. And Cooper, like, kind of seems like Cooper, but you know he's not. Like, he really can't be. It's very bizarre. But him just saying, like, "I was working with Philip Jeffries, and I've been undercover," and just, like, you can tell he's making up stuff. He's like, "I was on my way to give you this information. My car veered off the road, but his car really wasn't going in that direction at all." Yeah. So you know there's something up that, like, I guess the doppelganger is aware of this? Aware of Cooper?
Well, there's something going on where, so when, at one point, Mike, the one-armed man, talks to him and says, "Now one of you must die." When he's talking to Dougie.
Yeah, when he's talking to Dougie.
Or Cooper, or whatever he is now.
Yeah.
So one of them, either Dougie or the Doppel Cooper, has to die, and I guess maybe then one of them will become the fully formed Cooper?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't even know, like, because Dougie just came out of nowhere. We don't even know who the hell Dougie is.
It's...
But, like, that scene, when he's just talking to them behind, like, the jail cell, not really jail cell, but behind, like, the glass, was just kind of creepy and just very freaking eerie. Exactly. And then after that, you get the really awesome, just, like, conversation between Rosenfield and Cole, where Rosenfield reveals that Philip Jeffries had actually contacted him. and told him this information that he has to give to Cooper. And he gave that information to Cooper. And what that is exactly, or what does Philip Jeffries tie into this? We don't really know exactly. It's still very vague. Because I still love the one moment where the one FBI lady asks, "Who's Philip Jeffries?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, are they going to explain it?" And Rosefield just goes, "He was a former FBI agent."
Oh yeah, simple as that.
Okay, that doesn't explain anything.
Nothing weird ever happened to him.
Oh no. He didn't just like appear randomly at the FBI headquarters and then disappear out of nowhere. No. None of that.
Who knows?
No, but like that's really interesting. Like what's going on between Rosenfield, Cooper, and Jeffries, and then also like he mentions that like he gave him this information about this like one person, and then the next day that person was killed. So is he kind of working with doppelganger like Cooper? Because Cooper wouldn't kill, so he wouldn't really do that, you know. So I don't know.
Maybe there's a doppelganger of Philip Jeffries.
Oh yeah, well, we don't know anything about Philip Jeffries at all, or what he even is to begin with. So like,
yeah.
So we don't know what it could be.
It's just, and that's where the show is at right now. Is It's building a lot of intrigue.
Yes.
Asking a lot of questions, and maybe we'll get some answers.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like frustratingly confusing.
No.
Like it doesn't feel like just this is just kind of on our mind because we've been talking about this lately with something with the movies. It's not like Prometheus, where like it raises a bunch of questions with no real intent to answer them, or they have no idea what they're talking about.
Or another good example would be a show like Lost, where it's like they have these great, interesting things, and the first few seasons of that are great at building intrigue, then they never really answer.
Yeah, and you could tell they really had no idea where they were going in the first place. You know this was building towards something, so it's fun mysteries. Mm-hmm. It's like, I want to see where it goes. It's not just like, this is not going to pay off, because you know it will, because it's Lynch.
Yes.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention in the Bobby scene was that he mentions his father.
Yes.
Who he is actually dead. His father did die, but before he died, Cooper met up with him and talked to him about something. Mm-hmm. Then the next day he died.
Yes.
So what is going on with that? What is that? What happened in between? Like was that regular Cooper before he went missing?
Yeah.
Or was that Doppelganger Cooper? Because we know Doppelganger Cooper knows something. Like he's aware of some stuff. He's not just like a totally new entity.
Yeah.
So like, what was that scene like? What is like? Again, I like the inclusion of Major Briggs and everything. I'm like, what did he tell him? Like, what is going on?
So many questions. Who is Covered Eye Lady? Why is Jacoby painting shovels?
Yeah.
What is anything?
There's one scene of just Jacoby painting shovels. What is that? So much interesting stuff. We do get to see Cooper do the thumbs up, not in jail, but we do get to see Dougie Cooper do the thumbs up, which is fun, and drink coffee.
Yes, which he spits out because it was probably too hot or he didn't like it.
Yes, so we're building towards Cooper liking coffee. So that's good.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
I can't wait to see more because I just want to see where they're going with it.
Oh my god, I just cannot wait. I'm so excited. Yeah. So that's
where we're at with Twin Peaks right now.
Yes. So episodes 3 and 4 of Twin Peaks, I think we covered the main points at least. There's probably some details that we forgot to talk about.
Yeah, because there's so much with this show.
So much going on in every episode. Like every scene is like an important plot point.
Yeah, it's
nuts.
It's hard to keep up with.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. But
I'm excited.
Oh, I can't wait.
So until I guess a week and a half from now, or whenever episodes 5 and 6, or if it's just 5. I don't know what they're doing with
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's 2 episodes a week now, or is that just like a special for the first 2 weeks. I don't know.
What their plan is, we'll find out.
But
until the next episode,
yes,
we will see you guys later.
Yeah.
Hello.